Right, so I've hit record. It's going. Okay. Welcome to Marshallpreneur TV. It's me, Scott, and I'm back at you with another episode. In this episode, we have got our special guest, Dan SIkkens. Now, he is the founder of Aim High Academy of Martial Arts. And the unique thing about Dan's Academy is that the business model that he uses is a not-for-profit. Now, that's not to be confused with doesn't make any profit. It's a not-for-profit organisation. So I was really excited to talk to Dan and share with you guys exactly what that is, what it's about, some of the benefits of running a not-for-profit, and why Dan chose that business model. And as you can see, it's a great way of also giving back to the community and giving back rather than taking all the time, which is something that I'm very keen to show people with Marshallpreneur TV, that you don't have to be this bash people over the head with a sales pitch, hard lines, sell type of person to run a successful business in the martial arts. So without further ado, we'll go over and check out and see what Dan is talking about. Welcome to Marshallpreneur TV. I've got our latest guest with us today. We've got Dan SIkkens. Now, Dan runs the Aim High Academy of Martial Arts. Is that correct, Dan?
Yes, sir.
It
yes,
is?
Sir.
Great.
We're up here in Portland, Oregon.
Fantastic. And we won't tell anyone, but earlier I had a little mistake with pressing the record button, but we won't mention that, eh?
I don't know nothing about that one, sir.
Just between you and me. And Dan is doing some really interesting stuff. He was recommended to me by our mutual friend now, Tom Gallos. And Tom Gallos has also been on Marshallpreneur TV and done an interview, and he recommended Dan as someone to speak to, as doing something really inspirational and unique within the martial arts business community. And Dan is, forgive me if I'm wrong, your organisation, Aim High Academy of Martial Arts, is a not-for-profit organisation.
That's correct, right? We're a nonprofit, and I know there's different styles of nonprofit. I know in Britain there's one that a buddy of ours through the 100, Daniel League, out of Germany. Actually, he's worked with some British martial arts schools on being able to form a nonprofit. Okay. And in the United States, it's a 501c3. It's a charitable organization that can give tax relief to people who donate to it, and also reap the rewards of being a charity, similar to like the American Red Cross or a relief effort organizations.
Okay, great. Well, what was the reason that you decided that you'd want to go into not-for-profit organisation as opposed to a for-profit organisation? What led you to that decision?
That's funny. A lot of times I talk to martial arts school owners who feel like they're a not-for-profit because they're not making any profit. But running a nonprofit isn't, in a sense, not making any money. What it is being able to reap the rewards of the charitable giving that we're able to do in the community and in the best interest of the families and the people that we impact. We're a nonprofit, so which means that we're set up similar to like what a university might be, and that's the model that we've been following. That's the same model that we've been seen as a footprint in something that we can do ourselves. September of '05, we started as a for-profit, and in 2009, January 2009, we were able to become a nonprofit by the government. And we're just following the same model that you'd see at a university. We're able to offer tuition assistance, even for some full-ride scholarships, and we have a process for it. It's not just me making a decision, all right, I like you, you can go ahead and, tuition deduction. No, there's an actual process and a procedure, there's an interview process, and we're able to offer just a countless number of relief to people in our community, because we don't turn anybody away due to lack or inability to pay. We have people who round up. Round up means that they're able to donate additional money. They're able to support and get a tax relief on that as well, on their own personal taxes. So it made complete sense for us to move into that direction, as we were doing it anyway.
Okay, great. So that sort of gives you that bond with the community as well as not just being there, sort of taking everyone's money and just rinsing everyone for what they're worth. This is the reason why I wanted to speak to you, is because it's very unique, and you're actually giving back. I know we mentioned when we had a talk earlier about Gary Engels.
Yeah, Gary.
And
He's an amazing guy. What Quanjum Tom has done, and what he's always taught us to do as his students, is to surround ourselves with like-minded people, with people who ask more out of us than we do ourselves.
Sure.
And people like Gary Engels, Daniel Also, who's in Germany there, and a guy named Brian Williams. He just did a TED Talk. I'm not sure if you're aware of him. He's one of Tom Callis' students.
Yep.
So what we're doing is we're taking opportunity from people who are doing amazing things in our industry and bringing it full circle by being mentored by Gary to do leadership projects. Brian Williams is now taking a billion acts of kindness, collecting shoes. We have a little shoe manufacturer in our backyard. You may have heard of him, Nike. Have you ever heard of Nike?
Yeah, I think so. They do sneakers or trainers or something like that. I think that's it. Yeah.
They do, and they're always looking for an opportunity to give back to their local community as well as bigger charities. And we're able to tap into that. So now we're taking leadership from Gary, we're taking the shoe project from Brian Williams, and we're able to go to Nike and say, Nike, here's what we've got. We've got all these families that are receiving a tuition relief. They have to make it up through leadership projects. Can we get some shoes? Because we're going to send those to some villages in Africa, and you're going to get a tax relief because of it. So as a nonprofit, now we can give them a number that they can take off on their taxes. We look more attractive as a donor for them. Sure. And we're able to take other people from our industry who are doing amazing things and really kind of create that crazy business word synergy, I guess, out of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's sort of hear the words power circles and that kind of thing, so that you sort of work as a collective rather than just being on your own. That's fantastic.
Imagine that.
Yeah, exactly, and it's really great because it's not just the as a normal business where you've just got a product that you sell and you take money. You've actually created a whole ecosystem of benefit for other people involved and different parts of the community, which is great. You know, that's really commendable. You know, it's nice to hear that there's some people out there thinking in different ways, you know, outside of the box and making a difference rather than just taking. You know, it's great. I mean,
you look at you. I mean, what you've been doing by collecting these different videos and these great interviews. That we were really excited. I had the whole team in here listening to a couple of them last night. We were excited to hear what other instructors and what other people in our industry have to say. Yep. But what you're doing is exactly what you just said. You're taking other people in, creating new ideas, and from those ideas spawning other ideas that normally wouldn't have happened. And I haven't seen that in our industry yet either.
Yeah, I mean, we've only done 10 interviews with Marshallpreneur TV. And already I've heard so many amazing stories and interesting takes on how to run a martial arts business or career or whatever route you want to take with martial arts as a professional. Just within 10 people, you know, everyone's been an amazing story, you know, and a great way to look at it. And I think, you know, as with yourself and what you're doing there with the Aim High Academy is brilliant. It is really good. And but I mean, people who might be watching this will be thinking, well, that's great, you know, how you can set up a not-for-profit, and it's great if you're, you know, got a huge business sense. Was it hard to set up, or was it easy? Was there a lot of pitfalls? Did you have to have a lot of business advice, or was it something fairly straightforward to do?
Well, you know, it's all about the people who are leading the organization and where they want to take it, what their missions and what their beliefs are. I feel, and I've always felt with the school, and we're an educational facility. I mean, we are a business. We have to get, you know, earn a wage. We have to be able to eat. But we're an educational facility, and it's got to be students first. We have to put the stuff that we're teaching in front and make that be kind of our own marketing in and of itself. I mean, you can go and do these flyers and these brochures and all this kind of old school way of thinking on how to market your business, but really what we are is we're a school. And so why not run our organization like a school? Yeah. So the only footprint that I was able to see in the industry that's even similar to what we're doing is just that, the university down the street. So, I mean, they're massive. They're 30,000 students. But is there any reason why we can't be there one day? Yeah, no. You know, with a little over 700 students now, 2 years ago, we're at 400. And we're making those baby steps closer to that bigger number to be able to, you know, have our mission come to life, which is to impact as many people in our industry as possible or in our community as possible.
Absolutely. I think that you've touched on an issue, I think, which is I know in the UK is quite a mindset, really, is slightly different, but where you've looked at it as you are a school. That's what we do as instructors. We teach students, and we give them knowledge about our subject. Whereas I think a lot of guys starting out, especially in the beginning or maybe even further down the line, is that they look to the business side rather than the education side of what we do. And like you say, so there's a tried and tested model there. Schools, universities, they've been going along for hundreds of years in a similar way. So it's not a million miles away to think let's set it up as you've done, as a school. So I think that's a good lesson to learn. I think. A
lot of these new owners, or even I have some friends in the industry who've been running a school for 5-10 years, but they've never been able to break a certain amount of students, and usually it's not enough students to meet their monthly end. So they're wondering what's going on, and they get thirsty for these sales tactics that fitness centers and places they've exhausted really.
So,
and
me personally, I've been in that same position, and it's the transition from part-time to full-time, I think, and it is that tricky decision between just jumping from I've got enough for a part-time income, just enough to keep the club or school going, to how can I make this a full-time career. And like you say, I think that it's easier to fall into the trap of the hard sales than the sort of maybe thinking outside the box, slightly harder route, but pays off in the long run, which is fostering a community and finding ways to work with people rather than trying to get people in.
And you know what you'll find? It's a paradigm shift. When people understand that you're not just trying to bank their money, that you're just trying not to squeeze dimes out of them, they're going to be happier, in a sense, to hand over that extra whatever you're asking for.
Yeah,
we have a project going on. We have 9,000 square feet, and we're adding a mezzanine, a second floor in. It's going to give us another 2,000 square feet. Or what I look at it is we're able to teach 250 more students, maybe over 2 or 3 different programs. So that's what I'm looking to do. Wow. But if we were a for-profit, then people are like, I'm already paying you $150 a month. Why do I need to pay you more? Now we're able to say, no, we're able to impact these additional students. We're able to have all this better benefit. And they say, great, here's my donation. Yeah. And for some people it's $5, and some people it's $500.
And,
it's just
you've also got different avenues, I take it, because like you said earlier, that you have like different sponsors from different local businesses and communities. You don't have to hit your customers all the time for things like that expansion. That's great, because like you said, there's only so much, as much as we love to give back, there is only so much that someone will be willing to pay for a fee or a membership or a daily pass or whatever. But when you've got that not-for-profit setup, is that it doesn't have to impact those people who are the students. It can be used by your sponsors to help. So that's a fantastic business model. And
well, thank you.
Really cool, Dan. I mean, what sort of obstacles did you come up against? Anything when you did initially start out as a not-for-profit? Was there any, difficulties you found that you had, or was it easier than you thought?
No, this has never come easy, and I come from an Intel background. We also have Intel as one of the main companies here, and that was what was able to afford me the money to start the club in the first place. We started with just a small group of kids, and I never really wanted to see the business grow. That wasn't where I was going with it. I liked working at Intel. The income was good, but I also liked teaching. But it came to a point where we had grown it to like you had said earlier, going from part-time to full-time and making that choice. So I was able to live off of savings for about 2.5 years. I never took a paycheck, and anything that was in the school, I put into the school. We grew it. We came into a lot of hurdles. We had problems with the landlord. I didn't know anything about contract law, and apparently I should have maybe had a lawyer look at the contract when we first signed in, because there happened to be mold in the walls. And I can't have a facility where I have little kids with mold in the walls. That doesn't make sense. So we had to break through the contract, break through some of those business hurdles. And I finally gained enough wisdom over the years to figure out I don't know everything. And one of the best moves I made was to hire a CPA, a bookkeeper, and say, you know what? I understand signing checks. Let me do that. You just tell me which ones I need to sign, and if we have enough money to be able to issue those, or if they're going to bounce. we've come over a lot of hurdles. I mean, I could go all day on what's been a stopping point for us, but there's been twice over the years that we could have turned our backs to it and walked away. I had a team meeting. I had the group here, and I said, guys, you know where we're going. I can't afford to pay you this month. There's been a lot of hardships. If we're going to stop this thing, now is the time to stop it. What do you guys want to do? And not one of them hesitated to say, let's keep it going. Let's try it again. Let's give it another go. And with the team and like-minded individuals, we're able to create an opportunity for people in our community who otherwise would just never be able to get that kind of an education. They'd be said, no, you can't afford it, goodbye. With us and having tuition assistance, we say, no, come on in here. We're going to make it work for you. And us busy professionals in the background are going to figure out ways to get that revenue stream so that you can have the best education that we can provide. And that's really where it's been. But it's been a long and hard process to get to where we're at.
Sure. Again, it's so commendable, and I think that's great. It's good to hear. And the best things aren't the easiest to do most of the time anyway, are they? So it's
no.
It's really good to hear. So, I mean, in wrapping up, is there anything you want to talk about or let people know, or maybe some advice or anything? If someone was looking to turn their martial arts organisation into a not-for-profit, what would you recommend they do, or first steps, Dan? Anything like that?
Well, definitely. I would. I've had the privilege over this last year of being able to advise multiple school owners on how to either change what they're doing, add into addition what they're doing. I've even advised some people to shut it down and to team with another nonprofit that's already started. It just depends on where people are at. I offer my services. They're free. There's no cost involved. Please look us up. We're aimhighma.org. You can see us, Dan, at aimhighma.org. Send me an email or give us a call.
I'll put some links in the bottom along here. So keep going. Let us know where we can get you.
Perfect. No problem. Just look and see what opportunities are in the area. Give me a call. I'll be happy to work with you.
Okay, fantastic, Dan. That's great. I really appreciate it. I mean, before we go, I was going to ask, you sent me a PDF with the story of your not-for-profit organisation and a little bit outline. Would you mind if I could put that on my website so people could download and look at?
Yeah, that's no problem. Definitely, sure.
That was really great. It laid out everything. It was really informative. So it was a great document. Okay. But Dan, I mean, thank you so much. And again, people like yourself, thinking outside of the box, really actually trying to give back and not just take all the time. And you've actually brought together a brilliant idea, and hats off to you, and it's very commendable. And I hope some of our viewers can get some inspiration out of that.
Of course, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Hey, and next time we speak, I hope you come back on the show. I'll remember to hit record as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.